Hi, listeners. Bingkai Suara is back, your favorite channel discussing songs, the musicians, and the stories behind them. And I'm Luciana, as usual. Today, I will take you all to another soulful art that talks about the vulnerability of people's brains and hearts, the journey of life with Frankie Cosmos in the upcoming album Different Talking. So, this is it, Greta. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you. What's up, Greta?
I'm just excited to be working on putting this record out and uh, just learning more about it every day as I work on, the music videos and talking about the songs and stuff.
That's great. Different talking. It must be special because this is the first album recorded independently, right? In a living room. Is that true?
That's true. Yeah, we just wanted to try something new, and my bandmate, my newest, or I have two new bandmates, and one of them is a recording engineer by trade, and so she brought all her expertise and her gear, and we were able to record without anybody outside of the band being there. So it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, that's fun and it sounds homey. It looks homey.
Yeah, it was
You
cozy.
you worked on together with Alex, Caddy, and Hugo. And then you guys were living together for 1.5 months to work on this album. That's great. Whose idea is that?
It was something that I've always wanted to do, and it just worked out that we were able to do it this time. So it was, I mean, I think everybody was excited about it, but uh, I don't remember whose idea exactly it was. Probably me or Alex.
That's great. Well, it's also said that different talking is quite introspective, right? So, is there any special moment during 1.5 months that makes you guys maybe look back on yourselves, having a kind of self reflection that affected the art?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. Um, I mean, I think when we were working on it, we're so, you know, uh, we were focused on sort of like building our relationship with each other because we
Mhm.
hadn't played that much together as a four piece. And so we were sort of like at the same time as working on the songs, working on making dinner together and playing games at night and, just developing our rapport. So I think that we definitely felt that strengthen and got through some difficult like moments of just getting through technological issues um and disagreements about like how we should go about recording this, because it was so kind of just up to us to figure it out. And I think about halfway through we felt like really just solid unit, and uh yeah, I think just started to feel really get into our groove with working together.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are having fun together.
Yeah, it's a really
By the
nice
way,
group.
you mentioned about disagreement, right? Well, we could say that you are the main songwriter in this album, isn't it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then, how do you work with people? I mean, as a musician, sometimes they have that kind of ego, the idealism. How to compromise without losing your identity as an artist?
Yeah, it's always hard to explain to people the dynamic of Frankie Cosmos because I write all the songs before I bring them to my band. So the lyrics and the melodies and the structure of the songs are basically they're finished before my bandmates even hear it. But then everybody I I really like to have other musicians write their own parts and work on the arrangement collaboratively because I think I would never think that I could write the best, for example, the best drum part to a song or the best bass part. like, or the best keyboard part. I think what's special about having a band is getting to hear what everybody else brings to it. And especially when it's somebody's whole job to focus on their one instrument. I always think that that's just like makes the song more full and more interesting to me. So I think there are definitely people in my position who do write all the parts and just have players who come in and play them. But I think for me, part of what I like about having a band is collaborating and being open to the arrangement, being not totally in my control. But yeah, it definitely starts with this finished song that I always feel pretty strongly about.
Yep. So you have had already the core, right? And then you open for an arrangement. That's great. Wow.
Yeah, and it's also helpful to be working with musicians who've all written their own music before, because everybody has an understanding, that I'm the core songwriter and that they're like there to boost this thing that I've already created. So I think everybody has a really good like mindset about it.
Yeah, that's nice. And well, I thought you created 17 tracks in a month, in a 1.5 month. That is not true, right? So you had the songs before you give it to the band,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so we just
And there are 17 songs. There are 17 songs.
Yeah, there are 17 songs.
Then to start off, you have a single release titled Vanity, right? Why do you give the listeners Vanity as an introduction to different talking?
I really just picked it because when we finished mixing the record and I got, I had all 17 tracks to figure out, what the sequence was and what we were going to title the album. I wanted to show my friends and family Vanity first. That was just the one that I reached for because I feel like it's catchy and it's kind of poppier than stuff that I've put out. And I don't know if it's like necessarily the best representation of the album as a whole. I think the whole album like has these very different kind of styles in it. But there's a couple poppy songs and there's a couple rockier songs and some spacey ambient kind of sounds, and I think all the singles that we're going to put out sort of represent the different sounds on the record.
Okay. Well, and the Vanity itself, you mentioned Jupiter. That's an interesting object of the universe that you put in this album. Does it represent something? Is there anything you want to deliver through it, Greta?
I don't know.
Does it represent something?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I wrote it, I didn't think that much about what it was representing. It kind of just came to me. But as I kept writing it and kept singing it, I've sort of looked into it more, and either, Jupiter's either representing like the whole like space and the universe, or just something that, is really far from me. But also I think it can kind of, I don't know, it just kind of feels like a exclamation that that I'd never heard before, but it just kind of felt like something that that should be an expression or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for the cover album, Greta, there's a cute kid there. Is it you?
It's me.
That's very cute. Are you trying to put part of your inner soul, inner child soul into the album?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of kind of childish energy that went into making it. And I think working without a producer and like having to figure out sort of from scratch how to make a record brought out this kind of like naive young energy from all of us. And so yeah, I definitely felt like in touch with my inner child and my outer child. So yeah, the album cover felt like a good representation of that.
That's great. There are 17 tracks on the list once again, and it begins with Pressed Flower and it ends with Pothole. Did you put any thought into the song order?
Yeah, we spent a while figuring out the order. And
Oh.
that's something else that I like to do collaboratively because everyone has different strong opinions about what should go where. I'm usually the most invested in the first track and the last track and the the first and last of side A and side B. Like if it's on a vinyl and you're flipping the vinyl, like where does the side A end? So yeah, so I just kind of I always try and keep a flow in mind and make it feel like a cohesive sort of story that takes you through the record. And then I also have to think about the fact that a lot of people are just listening to it on streaming and they're going to click the first track and they're going to probably listen to just the first couple tracks, if anything. So I try and put like a, a bunch of what I think are the strongest tracks like right up front just for the streaming economy. Like kind of a weird thing to have to think about too, but yeah, everybody had my mom was really helpful with sequencing the record. She had brought opinions in about it and yeah, we all just talked about it a lot.
Okay, so you said that your favorite track is Pressed Flower because it's in the beginning of the track.
I mean, it's not my, I have different favorites all the time, but I think it
Okay.
was my favorite. It felt like a really good opener. Like it feels like a strong opener and it has I don't know. Yeah, it just felt right. And it feels like it has some of the themes of the record and um yeah, I don't know. It's just fine. We've listened to the album in so many different orders, like in order to find that sequence. So it just feels like track one. Yeah.
Okay, so you said that, and it's a fact that you've been writing a song. Um, After all this time, what does songwriting mean to you, Greta?
That's a hard question. I think it's just it's what I've been saying about songwriting recently is like it's just what I do. It's like eating breakfast or going for a walk. Like it's just things that it's just part of my life. So it's part of my routine and how I process everything. And uh yeah, so I just for me I think it's just like a really beautiful way to like connect with myself and with the world and I'm really grateful for it and I wish it for everyone. I really think everybody should like write songs or sing songs at least. I think singing is really good for you like physically um and spiritually. So yeah, I think it's just
Yeah,
something that's I feel like it's a really special thing to get to keep doing it. And I think
yeah,
it's just something that I'll always do.
that's beautiful when you say that writing, writing songs is a way to connect with your soul and with universe, with the world. That's beautiful. Okay, Greta, thank you so much for coming to Bingkai Suara podcast. Can't
Thank you
wait
so much
to
for having me.
can't wait to different talk. They're gonna be released on June 27, 2025. While waiting for that, listeners, you can also listen to Vanity on Spotify. Thank you, Greta. Bye. Have a nice day.
Hi.